That's good stuff.
Okay, you're good.
Okay, we are now opening the July 15, 2026 Greenwood Town Council meeting at 6:30 PM. If you will, join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, obviously there's no one here for public comments, so we will just go on to business. Appointment of council member. As you know, we had a vacancy, and so we need to fill that seat. There's some issues that are coming up that we feel that we need a full body, so we are going to replace Mr. Cessna. Is your nomination?
As I had said before in the last meeting, Michael Moran tied with now Mayor Donovan in the election. And to me, that speaks that the town believed he was a good candidate for the seat. And so based on that alone, and the fact that Mike has served before and understands how the town operates, I nominate Michael Moran to fill that position.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, we have, okay. Mr. Massey, how do you vote?
No.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Mr. Moran, if you'll come up and take the oath. Jamie, will you do the honors? Here's the paper.
Mr. Moran, if you repeat after me. I, Michael Moran,
I, Michael Moran,
do proudly swear
do proudly swear
to carry out the responsibilities
to carry out the responsibilities
of the office of Greenwood Town Councilman
of the office of Greenwood Town Councilman
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
freely acknowledging
freely acknowledging
that the powers of this office
the powers of this office
flow from the people I am privileged to represent.
to serve the people that I represent.
I further swear
I further swear
always to place
always to place
the public interests
the public interest
above any special
above any special
or personal interests,
personal interest,
and to respect
and to respect
the right of future generations
the right of future generations
to share the rich,
to share the rich,
historic,
historic,
and natural heritage of Delaware.
and natural heritage of Delaware.
In doing so,
In doing so,
I will always uphold
I will always uphold
and defend
and defend
the
the
Constitution
Constitution
of my country
of my country,
and my state,
of my state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Do you promise to uphold the charter and ordinances of the town of Greenwood?
I do,
Do you promise to uphold the ethics code of the state of Delaware and the town of Greenwood?
I do,
Do you promise to faithfully attend to the duties assigned to you?
I do.
Very good. Congratulations. We'll have you
Welcome
fill
back.
this out. Print your name there and then circle I will on those three. Circle there too. Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Okay, moving along, we have a presentation by Mr. Luff.
What we got.
Yeah. Michael, look at that thing. I think it folds, doesn't it?
What do you want, folder?
Oh, no, I want it now, sorry.
He wants it
Oh, no,
flat.
no, I need this part to go flat. Oh, there we go, you got it. Perfect. All right, well, we thought it was about time we took and gave you guys a little update on where we are with everything. Made some huge progress. We now have cash is reconciled all the years. So we know where cash is, that's good. Jessica has made some great strides in the current 26. We've kind of focused a little heavily on 26 to try to get policies and procedures down because we want 26 to be a good, clean year. There's really not a lot we can do as far as fixing anything. We're going to fix 22, 23, 24, 25, but we're focused really to get the system down. So we stay clean in 26, good into 27, and we're going to work on the back years, get them ready for the audit. Some of the problems that we run into are going to be, for example, like payroll. Payroll's not been tied out for all those years. So that's one of the things we've got to do is payroll. You have a payroll notice right now that needs to be addressed. And one of the things that I think we've given you guys is a POA, which is a power of attorney. It is, it's form 2848. It's an IRS form. It allows us to speak to the IRS. It does not allow us to receive money, pay money, do any of that stuff. It just says it's okay to talk to these guys. Payroll is like a huge deal because the biggest thing you got to remember is it's a trust account. In other words, you take and withhold money from people's paycheck, and you are supposed, that's not your money. That money is supposed to be conveyed over to the government in the form of a 941 payment. So when that doesn't happen, it becomes a problem. Not saying it's not happening, it's just that we've got some issues with some 941s right now, and we're fearful that it's going to be, we could have more issues. So we need to get that resolved. Like doing the power of attorney with the IRS and allowing us to speak to them, we can also get what we call transcripts. And the transcripts will basically show what's been paid in, what W-2s, it'll correlate everything for us, and so we can make sure that you guys are okay. The one thing we need is to be okay with the IRS. We don't need to have IRS problems right now. And payroll is definitely not one you want to deal with. We're good with right now on the software for the accounting. We're still at QuickBooks, right, Jessica? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're still at QuickBooks, which is a good software. It's solid. It's kind of, for lack of a better term, a CAN package. So it's all proven and it works really well. Now, the one thing we would like to make a move on that I think has been talked to you a little bit about is a program called Edmondson. I have another municipality that I do. I've been doing it for probably 43 years, and we use Edmondson there. Edmondson is a great software for billing, receivables, payments, the whole 9 yards. It's a great billing package as a whole, and you can do a lot of different things with it. So we strongly recommend you go to that. Is it expensive? Yes. Is there a monthly maintenance? Yes. But what you can make off it and get your books in line is you can't replace it. The municipality that I do, we've probably been using it, I'm going to say a good 25 years, maybe 30 years. We have one lady who's very good at it, and that's all she does. 5 days a week, she just takes care of billing, receiving payments, statements, reconciliations, because you're going to find that there's going to be additional revenue that you possibly could be making, or you're just not billing. So, yes, sir.
Real quick, before we move too far ahead, do you have an estimate on the initial cost and the monthly maintenance costs?
Oh, the
I moved
Edmondson?
because it's later on the agenda for the
Fair enough.
proposal that they submitted.
Yeah.
Let's move forward. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. You got to remember one thing nice about it is that if you get Edmondson going, computers are only as good as the people who put the information in. It's the old adage, garbage in, garbage out. But the one thing nice about these programs is that they don't call in sick. They're always ready to rock and roll. And that's what we got to have. We got to have billing in what, for lack of a better term, in real time, so that we're billing, whether you bill monthly, quarterly, or however you want to do it. You may actually get it, if you can get the system down really good, where you're kicking out bills on a monthly basis, which is even better. Why? Because it's cash flow. It means your cash flow is going to come in faster. And that's what the town needs. They need faster cash flow coming in. You may say, well, that's too cumbersome. We can go to a quarterly basis. That's not a problem. But we need to do something to get the billing a little bit more up to speed. And that just takes time, and it takes a good software. Edmondson, like I said, I've used it and been around it for a long time. It is a solid software. Their accounting package, in my opinion, is not good. I wouldn't use it. We had, we looked at it and we just said, no way. We actually use a software that's very comparable to QuickBooks in this particular client. It's called Peachtree or Sage, and it's very comparable to the two. But you guys have got a good software with QuickBooks, you're fine. If we can take and fix it so that Edmondson will actually, we can journal entry that right in. It's not a big deal. With the client that I got, we don't actually export and import into the software. We do it through an Excel adjustment sheet. We could, but the reason we don't is it adds another layer of checking to make sure everything is good. And that's what we want. We want some good checks and balances. And Jessica has been working diligently on trying to improve your internal controls. And that's one of the reasons that she's focusing heavily on 2026 to try to get that to the speed we needed at. Because you can't, we can't, we're devoting time, don't get me wrong. We're devoting time for 22, 23, 20, and bringing that along. We're still doing that. It's Ian, and most of you met Ian. Ian's a good, solid little accountant. I shouldn't say really big as I am, but he's solid as a rock. And he's been working on the back years. We felt that Jessica should really work on your current year to really get that to where it should be. One of the problems that we see right now, I look at your operation and I equate it to like the municipality I just spoke of. In that municipality I just spoke of, we have 6 people in just the accounting department that take care of it. You got people that take care of nothing but properties and settlements and liens and things like that. You have the one lady that does nothing but billing. You have another person that does nothing but receive the money, and then you have like a controller type individual who basically pulls all the accounting together. When Jessica works on these internal controls, we need a thing called segregation of duty, which means that segregation of duty is nothing but a check and balance type thing. You can't have the person who makes the deposit, write the checks, go get the bank statements, reconcile the bank statements, and have any kind of internal control. Doesn't mean that your person's dishonest. It doesn't mean that, but that's not good internal control. We need somebody who's going to make the deposit, somebody else who got the bank statement, somebody else who did the reconciliation. So if you get enough people, you do cross-training too. Right now you have two really good internal people, but if one of them should get sick, God forbid, or one of them, hey, just would like to go on vacation, is there enough cross-training, and is there enough time in a day for the other person to pick up all that slack? No. I advocate to you guys, you need at least one more body, maybe 2, to make this successful. I know what you're thinking right away. Oh, that's a lot of labor costs. I get it. But how much money are you losing by like not having a billing person? Somebody who's seeing that the bills are coming out. Somebody who's seeing to it that the money's being paid back in. Somebody who's seeing to it that when should credits be issued, should credits not be issued. And in addition to that, do you have people that are like a double check? For example, again, I use the municipality I deal with. The billing lady gives it to the controller who checks everything she does, and then she puts it into the accounting software. So we're double checking right now to make sure she's okay, the billing person. I think I've told you this before. If you have a really great internal control system, people think that no one can ever steal from us. That is absolutely unequivocally not true. People always try to steal. I'm not saying you have that. I'm not saying that. But that's what an internal control does, is it says, how fast do we catch them? That's a strong internal control. If you pick them up in 90 days, 60 days, whatever it is, if you pick them up that quick, your internal control is good. You have check and balances. Has anybody ever heard of the town of Dixon? No? Great case to read. A lady named Cromwell, a town about this size, okay? Over 20-some years stole $53 million. And people are like, how in the hell does that happen in a small town? It happens, and it happens every day. So you've got to, if we're gonna build this thing right and get 26 going, you've gotta have those internal controls. You've gotta have the personnel that can do that. You can't pile and pile and pile, because we're asking these ladies to do more than they've ever done before. But the reason we're asking it is because we need that to have a good accounting system. You guys cannot get presented numbers every month that we're not sure about. How do you run a business like that? You can't run a business like that. Just you.
Couple questions,
Sure.
Mr. Leff. When you say cash reconcile, I know what that means, but can you explain in layman's
Absolutely.
terms, what's that mean?
Yep, what it basically means is we have reconciled what you say in your general ledger to what the bank statement says. We've tied those two together. That's called reconciling. And we've got that. That was a big deal. But we have problems. Don't get me wrong. We know what the cash is and it ties to the bank, but we have problems because, you have some deposits, and I was getting to this in a minute, but I'll jump in there right now. You have deposits, let's say you've got a $26,395 deposit, and there it is on the bank. What is it made up of? You're missing documents. You have holes in your system so bad that sometimes the document doesn't exist at all.
That's a question that I'm gonna have for you a little later on the list.
Okay.
Well, one of the other things, I was under the impression that 2025 had also was caught up in a similar fashion as 26. That's not correct though, is it?
Well, not all the reconciliation items, and what I mean by, I shouldn't use that word, that confused with cash rec. But what we're looking for is, okay, when Jessica did all the cash recs, some deposits she didn't know. You know the dollar amount. What is it? Is it grant money? Is it trash money? Is it sewer money? Is it property tax money? What is it? Nobody knew. And okay, show me the documents on where it is. There is no documents on some of the stuff. Not saying everything, but some of the stuff has no documents. So when that happens, we put it in what we call a suspense account. And that's the one that Jessica's gonna have to go through and literally rip apart and try to figure out where all this is. One of the biggest problems that we also have is grant money. We went out and we got some grant money, which is fantastic. I'm still trying to figure out how you guys have dodged the grant audit yet. I haven't figured that out yet, because usually grant money will trigger an audit by the people doing the grant and say, we want to see what you did with the money. One of the things we see in your books is that, hey, let's just hypothetically now. We got a grant of 50 grand to do, street repair, let's just say. So they put the money in cash and they put it in a revenue account called grant money. So there it is. Now, when we spent the money, they took it out of cash and they took it out of revenue. So eventually this went to zero, and it should never happen like that because it doesn't show where you got any grant money at all. So there's accounting issues in addition to documentation issues that have definitely got to be addressed. Those are some of the biggest hurdles that we've got right now. Is at least we know where the pieces of the pie are. We just got to figure out what makes those pieces up.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Leads to the second one. From my understanding, under generally accepted government auditing standards, which for people who don't know what that is, there's rules to audits with government. You can't break them. So it's like, why just write those years off? Not allowed to do it. And the grant is a great example. I'm glad you brought that up. So the grants are something that we have to find. You have to, I'm going to use the word reconcile, like where'd the money go? What was it spent on?
Exactly.
But let's say that we focus on that part, but in the next part, we have receipts. A good example is Town Manager Slater. There's 1 year, there's a bunch of receipts. Let me say this, we have transactions, but we don't have the receipts for many of those transactions.
Bingo.
Let's say we cannot find those receipts. We know the transaction happened. We can't find the receipt, and the sheer manpower to do it would be, for this size town, not the wisest fiscal thing to do. We can take a qualifier, correct? Meaning the auditor writes the report, hey, you didn't have internal controls, you weren't doing A, you weren't doing B, you weren't doing C, but the audit could, in theory, move forward.
You read my note?
No, I did not.
Are you sure you didn't read my
I'm
note?
positive I did.
Because that's the spot I'm
I
coming to.
did my own research because I want kind of the train to go down the track a little faster on this.
Well,
So-
here's the thing right now. And we're glad to take your money. If you want to give it, I'm good, but I'll be honest with you and I'll tell you when I think, you're spending a hell of a lot of money to find out something that happened 5-6 years ago. Are you required? That's a Jamie question. By law, are we required? So what happens, just like you were just saying, what happens when the auditors come for 23? And we still haven't got suspense items reconciled. We still show where disbursement happened, could be a journal entry, could be even a check written out, but we have no backup. We have no invoice. We have no accounting of the reimbursement. We have none of that stuff. The auditors then can say and they could literally go with an adverse opinion. They could go with an unqualified, qualified, or adverse. Adverse is not good. I'll tell you that right now. The worst case that could happen to us is they say, it's not auditable. We gotta walk, we can't do it. We're walking away. That's a possibility. So you could get yourself to a system or a situation where, and this is where you guys have got to make the big decision. Like I said, we're happy to keep pounding and pounding on 22, 23, 24, and 25. Is it cost effective? Cost benefit rules come into play. What benefit is it producing you? If I would love to see us focus more on 26, because I need 26 to be good. So when we open up in 27, we got a system going down. The back years, you could just say, hey, we were happy to talk to the auditors and say, hey, this is where we are. It's maybe not cost effective for us to go back and dig all this stuff and get it to a certain point. We can show them where we are. Give us your opinion right now. Not on the audit, but what's your opinion? Are you going to say adverse, qualified, unqualified, or just we can't audit that? That's one of the things I would strongly recommend that you give Jessica and I the marching orders to do that, because then we know what the auditors will say. Right now, I'm not sure. So that's one avenue that we got to look at really hard. I don't disagree. This costs you a lot of money. Now, again, we didn't pay a lot of money in 22, 23, 24, 25. So we've been without paying accounting fees, audit fees, all that stuff. So yeah, it's deferred. Basically, it's been a deferred escrow account, for lack of a better term. But we still have to make that final decision. You look at some of the pros of just going forward. Some of the pros are we can get Edmondson, we can get that up. Jessica can spend her time on nothing but making 26 perfect. Policies, procedures, everything else. That's a plus. And we'll just let us talk to the auditors and see what they say about these back years. And then it kicks into Jamie's court. Do we have any legal problems because we didn't get an audit done? If they say it's unauditable, we have that problem. At least we would know, and I can convey that to you, where you can make the decision to say, hey, we're not going to dump any more money in this. We're throwing, now, one question that's got to be in everybody's mind here, we won't be able to tell if there was anything, misappropriations or anything like that. We won't be able to tell that because we're not going to go back and dig. Could there be? Sure. Everything could be. Who knows? Who knows? And we wouldn't know that till we went back and fixed it. You got to remember, we're two stages. The first stage is to put the books together so that there are a set of books. The second stage, if you choose to, let's go look and see certain things. Is it worth the money that you're going to spend on us to do that? I don't know. That's a lot of money for us to go back and do that. Happy to do it for you. We're happy to do it for you. Yes, sir.
Question, how will this affect us in terms of getting a loan if we do this?
If you don't worry about the back years and the auditors are
If we decide
okay.
to go to the bank, we need to borrow money, we're going to the bank. If the bank asks for audits, how will this affect us?
Well, I'll tell you how, in fact, I'm assuming you're going to go to probably community.
Well, whoever.
Well, if you go to community, let's just say that. I know the president of the community bank. I would sit down with him and tell him, I'm not going to be an advocate for you, and I'm not going to be an opposition for you. I will come and tell him exactly where you are. What's the plus? By us telling him that, we're going to be able to say, Jessica's got 26 really cold. They're running good now. They just had bad hiccups back then. And again, I'm not advocating forget about those years. I'm not advocating that at all. I'm just saying to you, be ready, because that's going to cost. Yes, sir.
Donnie is kind of starting to touch on it and school me on this. I was always under the impression if you have unauditable years, so 26, say we get it together.
Yep.
And it's ready, 26 passes, everything's there, standard audit, costs $15,000 PKS, nothing crazy. That you can let those other years go. Like, I always thought they had to be sequential, almost, there had to be some kind of decision, something, not like just a call like Community Bank. Hey, what happened to, 23, 24, 25? We just didn't do them, and here's why. The auditor wrote a letter, they were unauditable. But here's 26, and it's fantastic.
Right.
You can do that.
You can.
I'm not saying it's the best, like.
It's not the best, but I'm gonna answer it with a non-answer.
Okay,
It depends
perfect.
on the bank.
Okay,
It depends on the bank. Most banks are a little bit smart about like, okay, you got us overseeing now, 26, we look good, 27, we've got, the oversight in place, and they may say, we may not do that till the end of 27. Let's see how that is. Or they may say, give me a 6/30/27, June 30th, 27 statement. They may say that. I don't know. I don't know what the bank will say.
okay, and that's fair. The other is loans. Have you ever heard anything crazy like
So-
revolving through the water fund and all that, Rhiannon, that they
I've
might
gotten
do?
around the grant requirements for audits by supplying them with bank statements. And so far, the ones that have asked have been fine with bank statements. I can't say that all of the grant funding is gonna be okay with that, but I mean, that's the hope.
Banks have changed their posture a lot. In my industry, my world, the review process. In financial statements, you've got audits, you've got reviews, you've got compilations, you've got compilation with no notes, and then you just have preparation of statements. The review process is now become extremely expensive because they put some SAS for the audit side. They put SAS, which are statements of audit standards, into the review now, which from a litigation side, which I do litigation support, is an absolute nightmare because there's confusion. Where did you draw that line and stop doing a review and started doing an audit? I'm telling you all this because banks have changed their posture. Sorry about this logic, but I got a damn head cold and I'm just banks have changed their posture a little bit where they're okay with corporate tax returns to do loans of like maybe 2 or 3 million or less. So we made, we've done 990s or no? Oh, no, they're not required. Never mind, they're not required. So we're okay on that. You guys would dodge that bullet completely. I don't have answers for you. And the questions I'm asking, you're gonna want me to get a little bit more research so you can't make your decision on what I'm telling you tonight. Because you don't know what the auditor's gonna say, you don't know what the banks are gonna say. I need to start feeling that out for you and saying, okay, this is the posture of the auditors. This is the posture of the bank. And then you make a decision. I can't make it. If you said professionally, George, what do you think? I said, yeah, we gotta reconcile all those back years. That's what I would say to you, if you're asking me for my professional opinion. But you gotta weigh out cost, benefit. Because you got a whole lot of people out there that you have a fiduciary duty to when you sit there. You sit there and you are obligated to look out for their best interest. That's a tough decision, but one you're gonna have to make. Is it in the best interest of the town, our taxpayers, to take and go back and pay that money to do that? I don't know. You gotta make that call. I can get you the information you need so your decisions, I'm not gonna say easier because it won't be, but at least you'll have some information. Any other questions? And I just need you to tell me, we need to make sure you can get the thumbs up on the POA, right?
It's-
Yeah, the POA, we need that, and we also need, tell me what I can do with the banks and the auditors. Those are the two things I need to walk out of here with.
Would you be able to have an answer by next month on the auditors and the bank?
Yeah.
Next month's meeting?
Yeah, I'll start making calls tomorrow.
Right.
And start setting up times to go talk with them. Actually, the auditor called me today, and they were just curious as to where we were. I didn't return the phone call because I knew I was gonna be here. I'll call them tomorrow morning and say, hey, let's schedule a meeting. we need to have a meeting and talk about this.
With the power of attorney, is this essentially, I know what it is, but is, I don't know how the IRS is right now. Have they, do you know if they've been, merciful on late taxpayers? Because I know that with the POA, you're gonna be able
Okay.
to speak on our behalf. I don't know what the administration is like right now.
Let's talk about that, because that posture has not changed. I mean, this past tax season was my 50th tax season. That's not changed for 50 years that I've been in practice. If you said to me, I've got enough money to pay either my income tax or my payroll tax, I'd say pay your payroll tax. And the reason I'd say that is because that's not your money to begin with. That was the government's money that you acted as an agent for the government to collect. You are obligated legally to pay that to the government. Still got to pay your income tax, but this is really more important. When it comes to that, they can be a little unforgiving. Forget about interest. They're going to charge you interest. The penalties, we got a shot. And that's going to be a little bit of a song and dance to try to see if I can't get that minimized. Interest, I can try, but I say you got about a 2% shot of me getting rid of interest. Because the posture on that is basically, you had the money, you had to earn money somehow, and you say, well, we didn't have it in the savings account. That doesn't matter. You had it invested into the town, which is a return. It's an ROA on that too. Okay, so that's posture.
Okay.
Two separate different things, two different ways the IRS looks at it. We'll try, but maybe.
Jessica's been here a lot. I mean, she's
She
been
is.
working really hard.
It is.
And
And no, you're not gonna write her off, no.
but what I'm hearing and from our staff and all, we have so much missing information.
Yes, that is
And
very true.
receipts and stuff on cards and just stuff that was done totally wrong. That there's no, I'm pretty sure we're probably never gonna find a lot of it.
Well, okay, so let me answer, I'm gonna
I mean, that's a
answer
guess.
that. I'm gonna
what
answer
I'm
that
hearing.
question.
Yes.
If you said to me, we want Jessica to find it all, every deposit, we probably can do it. It'll take a long, long time to do, cost you a whole lot of money, and we're gonna have to contact third parties. And hopefully we can figure out who the third party is to say, hey, we have record of you making a $500 deposit for this. To put those pieces together is horrific, and the cost would be. That comes back to cost benefit. Is it your benefit to have us do all that? I mean, at the end of the day, what do you know? You still collected $25,365. You just know it's in the right place now. That's gonna be my posture a little bit with the auditors. Say, look, we got this money, we're not sure where each piece goes, but we know we got this money because we reconciled it. So that's their money. Are you guys comfortable enough to say, okay, we're gonna give them a qualified opinion with lack of internal control? And they're gonna bust on you. So just get ready for that. They're gonna have a lengthy, if they agree to do this, they're gonna have a lengthy letter that says, here's all their flaws. Boom, 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 boom. And you just gotta live with it.
Well, we've gotten that before, so that's nothing new.
Right.
No, not at this level, Donnie.
This is gonna be a little nasty, to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're nice people, but what's happened here is a little tough.
Auditors lose their mind when they don't have source documents. So,
The biggest thing, we kick around the term investigation, fraud, and all that stuff. We're not even close to that area yet. Well, we don't know. We have no clue right now. If you ask Jessica or me, did someone commit fraud? We have no idea. You know why? We can't tell. Because you got missing documents, the system's not on. You can't go off half-cocked and accuse somebody of doing something unless you've got some damn good evidence. If you don't have it, you better not do that. We got two attorneys right here that will tell you that's not a positive thing to do. Would you agree?
Anyone can sue anybody for anything, sadly, but I would say it's good to have some evidence. For it.
There you go.
That's my opinion.
Okay, so now you need some direction from us.
I need two things from you. One, the first, well, actually, Yeah, two things right now, and then you're gonna make the big decision when I come back. The first thing is, yes, we will sign that POA so you can get started on this payroll tax issue. That to me should be the first order of business, because the last thing I need is an IRS agent here to snoop all around. That's the last thing we need. The second piece of this, you're gonna give Jessica and I the authority or the go-ahead to go talk to the auditors and present your case and to see what they'll do. They may say, but you'll know that if they say, no, we can't do it like that, I'll come back and tell you that. Then you still can make the decision, no, we're just not gonna do the back years, we're just gonna move forward. Or you can say, no, we're gonna do the back years. We need marching orders from you guys.
Okay.
That's what we're looking for.
Before we get to marching orders, there's something, I think, Mr. Luff, I'm sure you understand this, when you tell people you're an auditor, they're usually not interested.
Yeah, we're
And
not.
it's not offensive, it's numbers and people just don't see.
It's just generic term.
Exactly.
I spoke at the fireman's thing when the fire companies about 10 years ago switched where you gotta turn your stuff in, and I knew a couple of the guy who run the fire school, and I actually came up and spoke because they couldn't tell the difference between an audit, review, and compilation. One fire company says we have an audited compilation. Well, that's impossible. That's two different things. It's not offensive to them. That's not their cup of tea. That's my cup of tea. So the auditor is a very loose term. Banks are terrible about it.
Right, I just want people to understand the primary purpose why we hired your firm was to get these answers.
Correct.
There was no, early on, when we found out our QuickBooks and our bank accounts were drastically different.
Correct.
We needed expertise to find out why that was.
And we fixed all that.
Correct, that's where the reconciliated cash earlier in the conversation. So we're now at the point of the decision making. Okay, we have a good handle on what those years and how lack of documentation, everything else there is. Now it's now we know a way forward.
You nailed it. That's exactly where we are right now. I just don't want anybody to think, oh, well, you guys have done forensic or fraud examination. We have not. We're not even close to that because you're not there yet. You're not even close.
Are we going forward? Are we ready to go forward with 2022 audit? Are we at the point where we can give it to the auditor and say go?
That's a question that I'm going to bring back to you. I'm going to say the auditors said they will do an unqualified or a qualified opinion for 22, 23, 24, 25, because they can go off basically what we got, or they'll say, no, we can't do that. It's going to be an adverse opinion, or we just can't audit it. So then you guys will have to digest and decide what you want us to do. Because if you say, no, we got to have an audit. Okay, in order to do that, the auditors told me we've got to reconcile all that stuff. So get out your checkbook because it's going to be expensive. It took us this point just to get to the point where I can make that statement to you, because there's so many pieces, so many holes in all this. It's crazy.
Have you ever run into this before?
Oh, yeah. Yep. You know, when I first went out on my own, I had a certain knack I did a lot of payroll taxes, where people would get in trouble, they didn't pay their payroll taxes, and law firms would call me and they'd say, hey, can you go in and mitigate damages with the IRS? So we had to put all the stuff together. I've actually done a $21 million bankruptcy case that was hired by the bankruptcy court. That was interesting, let me tell you. But so we're used to seeing things all over the place? Yeah, we see them all over the place.
Okay.
It's difficult because when you hire a bookkeeper, define a bookkeeper? I'm not asking you, but the definition of a bookkeeper to most people is they can make deposits and they can write checks. Well, that's not true. A bookkeeper has to have some accounting savvy to know what's a debit, what's a credit, and where does it go and why does it go like that. You guys are going to be at that point when we start talking about hiring somebody. We would like to be a part of that process to make sure that person really understands the accounting aspects of this. I'm not saying you got to have a CPA. I'm not saying that. But I would love to see somebody from like Del Tech that has an associate's in accounting, has worked in the field a little bit, has got a little knowledge of debits and credits. That would be real nice.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I just want to say one little thing.
Go ahead.
Months ago, Mr. Sesson and I would come to your office and met with you and Jessica.
Yeah.
And we talked, and just so everybody else that may be listening out there, this is no small problem. This is a major, when we talked to you that day, I asked you the question, how bad is this from what you have seen? I don't remember if you remember the answer you told me. You said you're probably in the, I think it was top 3 of the worst
Oh, yeah,
mess
you're definitely up there. There's
I've
no
ever
question.
seen. So these people understand, this was no small mess. This was a major, major.
And I'll tell you what made it a major, major mess, and I put it such a high ranking, is because in some of the cases that I've been involved with, I had the pieces of the pie. I was able to put the pie together because I had all the pieces, or was only missing a de minimis amount. With you guys, we got holes everywhere, so it's like, I don't know what the hell the problem is, and the only way to do it is to start going to third parties and getting confirmation, you paid this much. And all of that, extremely expensive. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna tell you that it'll be cheap,
Right,
it's not.
right, gotcha.
I have one more question.
Speaking
Calm
of
down,
cheap, speak
sir.
quicker.
No, all right. It's 26 alone. And the final things to get in place, the controls, the hiring the person is gonna be its own separate thing.
It is.
But the actual basic controls themselves, what would be the timeline on that to completion?
Our goal right now, and Jessica, you jump in if you want to comment more. Our goal right now is by the end of the year, policies and procedures are in, and we're running like a clock.
Okay,
If we hire a person, we're even better. We're even better. So that by, let's just hypothetically say, March 31st, we've got work papers to give to the auditors to say, hey, we can get this done. That's an aggressive timeline, and it's predicated on a lot of finding somebody that can help these ladies. I don't think a lot of people understand how much they actually do in the course of a day. And they do a lot. They do a lot. And sometimes things can't get done because we're out of time. So we gotta cure that. That's gotta be a cure.
And the issue you got with the ladies, and hopefully I can speak for them, they're doing this, and then the phone rings, and they gotta do that.
Right.
They're taking away from this, and they're taking away from that, and even if you had somebody to answer a phone would be a help, just to not take them away from what they're doing, so.
That's why I said 2 people. Really, we need a receptionist type person that can handle the phone calls, can handle the customers walking in, and then we need somebody else that's got a little bit of accounting savvy. that can
Okay,
help with that.
anything else? Okay,
Got a question.
Got a question?
you're on my clock, you
I know,
understand that?
this is to help you move forward.
Oh, good.
We have one here, the POA for the IRS. Who would be what would the council's motion need to be for that as far as, is it Luff and Associates that has the authority? Is it you? Is it Jessica? Is it somebody else? Is it all the above?
We, actually, it's in our firm name, but it'll be 3 of us. We all 3, it'll be me, Tyler Luff, and Devon Reed. Because we're the 3 CPAs that have what they call CAF numbers. And those CAF numbers will be listed on the 2848, and we'll be the ones able to talk to the IRS.
And who from the town would be the one that needs to execute that? Would it be the mayor? Would it be Ms.
I would want the mayor.
Okay, so the motion, if we did it, would be a motion to authorize George Luff, Tyler Luff, and Devon Reed to have a power of attorney executed under the IRS form 2848 to permit George Luff, Tyler Luff, and Devon Reed to discuss outstanding payments due to the IRS and related matters regarding payroll tax.
I would say any outstanding items with the IRS.
Any outstanding items of the IRS on the town's behalf, and for the mayor to be able to execute such power of attorney.
Yeah, I would say that, yes.
All right. So if somebody want to make that a motion.
That sounds great, Jamie. Let's move that forward.
All right, so is that your motion?
That's my motion.
second.
We have a motion by Mr. Massey and motion by Mr. Massey and a second by Mr. Nelson. Are there any questions on the motion? Being none. Mr. Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Massey?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well, unanimous. Okay, moving along, the discussion about the reconciliation of the council and whatnot, I'm assuming, Jamie, we'll need a motion for him to go forward and talk to the accountant.
I believe that was what he had suggested, right, Mr.
Yes, that's our second piece of the pot. So I would
Okay.
like to have a meeting, me, Jessica and myself,
Okay.
to go over where you are and where we see you to be, and just get a feel for what posture they're gonna take.
Okay. Is
Because
there,
I
a-
don't know. That's their call, not mine. I got nothing to do with it.
is there a motion?
I'll make a motion for Jessica and George of an Associates to talk with PKS, or the town auditors, about the current state of the outstanding audit years, and also talk with Community Bank on our behalf of how this may or may not affect any future money borrowing.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Nelson. Do I have a second?
I second it.
I have a second by Mr. Willie. Are there any questions to the motion? Being none. Mr. Massey, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Thank you, sir.
Just so you know, we will talk to the auditors first before we talk to the bank.
Okay.
Because in case they ask us any, I don't want to talk to the bank and then find out the auditor's got a different posture.
Okay.
Just so you know that.
Maria, can we make
And
sure?
thank you for coming. I appreciate it,
No problem. We're glad
Thank
to
you
be
for-
part of
Thank you.
guys.
for bringing us up to speed, because there's a lot of folks out there that had a lot of questions, and hopefully you've answered the bigger majority of those questions.
And anytime you guys need us to come, we come. You know, we'll be glad to tell you where we are.
Okay, George, one more question. You do pro bono work?
What's that?
Never mind. I
What's that?
got the answer because you didn't answer.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Like I said, thank you again. Okay, moving along. Is there anything else?
Yeah,
This will be on the agenda for next month.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So if there could be a note made to put that on the agenda to bring these issues back up. I don't know if Mr. Luff will need to be here. It may depend on what he's able to find out, if that can be submitted in writing or needs a verbal.
All intent and purpose, I can have answers for you by the next month's meeting.
okay.
Oh, when will that be?
It should be the second
Wednesday of August.
Wednesday in August,
What, you know what the date is?
I'm looking.
probably the 12th.
Yeah, I won't be here.
Okay.
That's one other problem I got.
Can can Jessica serve as your proxy if need be?
Yeah, can you do that?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, a written report may be sufficient depending on where everyone finds, so.
Okay.
I just
Yeah,
make sure to
we'll
clarify.
put it in an easy format.
Okay,
Mr. Mayor, are you done?
thank you. Yes,
So we're gonna get off the clock, okay?
yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much for coming.
See
Thank you.
Jessica, I'll see you next week.
Yep, see you
Take
next
care,
week.
folks.
Keep rolling.
Okay, moving along, the next thing on the agenda, approval of minutes. Gentlemen, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have 6. Okay, first one, January 15, 2026, special meeting.
And I will note just for the record, Mr. Moran was on council at that point in time as well, so I believe he would be able to vote on that.
Motion to approve?
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Do I have a second to approve?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Moran. Are there any questions or corrections to those minutes? Okay, Mr. Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie, you will abstain because you weren't here.
I was not on council at that
Mr.
time.
Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Massey, how do you vote?
I'll recuse.
And I vote yes. Okay, so Mr. Massey and Mr. Willie recuse themselves. January 16, 2026, special meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion made?
Mr. Moran, you were here also for that particular meeting.
He's
Is there
unsure.
a second?
Second.
Mr. Moran seconds. Any questions or corrections? Being none. Mr. Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie, you
We're not here
were
then.
not here.
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Massey, no, you weren't here either, were you?
No, I was outside, so
So
I'll
you,
recuse as
how do
well.
you,
I will recuse as well
okay,
on that one.
so I vote yes.
We have one
So
more.
Mr. Massey recused, Mr. Willie recused.
Yeah.
Moving on, executive.
Motion made to approve?
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Moran. Questions or corrections of those minutes? Okay, Mr. Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie, you recused?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Massey?
I refuse, I wasn't there for that meeting.
And I vote yes. Okay, Mr. Massey recused. Mr. Willie recused. Motion is passed. All motions have passed. Okay, June 10, we didn't do that one, did we?
No.
Not yet.
No, we're working on it.
Okay, June 10 Town Council meeting. We have a motion to accept.
Motion to accept.
Okay,
Second.
motion, second. Okay, are there any corrections or additions to those minutes? Being none. Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Massey, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Moran, you weren't at that meeting.
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Moran recuses himself because he wasn't here. June 10, 2026 executive session. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion so made.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Moran, you as well weren't there either.
Correct.
Mr. Willie, are there questions on any of the minutes? Being none. Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Massey?
I will have to refuse, I had to leave for work that night.
Okay, and I vote yes. So Mr. Massey recuses himself and Mr. Moran recuses himself. Okay, and that takes care of all the minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right there.
Police report, chief.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. You have my written report. If you had time to look over it, if you have any questions, I can answer any questions you might have from the written report before I move on to verbal. No questions being any, I'll move from the verbal. As far as enforcement, during the month of June, the department handled 106 calls for service and police-related responses. As far as our community events, we are continuing our final preparations for National Night Out. We hope our community comes out for this fun-filled evening. And again, reminder, it's Tuesday, August 11th from 6 to 8. It will be held at the Greenwood Fire Hall. Our training updates, I attended the Delaware Associations of Chiefs of Police monthly meeting in Dover and also attended the Sussex County Chiefs meeting in Georgetown. Corporal Tucker and K-9 Storm continued their monthly in-service training with the Delaware State Police. It's time for grants. This is my stressful time of the year. Applications for fiscal year 27 for OSAC. OSAC is Violent Crime, Sally and Edie have opened and the applications are due by August 14th. So we're currently working on those to get those submitted. Our K-9 program. During the month of June, Corporal Tucker and K-9 Storm assisted the Georgetown Police Department with an asset forfeiture of money. A narcotics detection scan was completed to assist with the seizure of suspected drug proceeds. Also during the month of June, Corporal Tucker and K-9 Storm were able to seize crystal meth from a vehicle stop after a narcotics detection scan was completed, removing dangerous, illegal, and illicit narcotics from within our community. And also regards to the K-9 program, we have a fundraiser coming up. Please come out and support the K-9 program during our Kiwanis Chicken Barbecue sales on July 26th, with proceeds going directly to support the K-9 program. So that's all I got for my verbal report. If you guys don't have any questions, got anything for me?
Sounds great.
Ben, Brianna, town manager. Do you have a report?
Oh, yes, sir, I'm sorry, I didn't. So we've been awarded the Bonneville portion of the park project, so that's $55,000 to put towards new park equipment. The Denrick portion of that will not be awarded until November, so we won't have a decision. I've not had the time to take the necessary photos of the dump truck to get it online to sell. We received an award notification for $28,027.09 for municipal street aid funds. We should have those in hand by September. The meeting to hear the IT grant proposal with DEMA is tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and I will be in attendance to speak on behalf of our request. The renovation project is moving forward. I received proposed floor plan and building rendering. Staff reviewed each of these, and I met with the architect and discussed our ideas and concerns, and they're addressing them and putting together another submission. Work has begun on the stormwater mapping project. also grant funded. Surveyors from DBF were out walking around last week. We've received a couple of zoning applications. We're in the process of reviewing these. Payroll expenses have been updated in QuickBooks through current. I'm still working on the list of open invoices to determine which are actually open and which have credits to be applied in order to move forward with late fees on unpaid balances in QuickBooks. And that is, there are a number of payments that come into QuickBooks but are not applied to open invoices. So in looking at the account, the two wash each other out, giving the account a zero balance. But if I were to run a late fee routine to attach late fees, it would hit those invoices that look open. So I've got to go through and connect all these payments to open invoices. So we're working on that, and I did as much as I could in relation to what Mr. Luck was saying on the fiscal year 22 transactions that were entered into QuickBooks that were not there. And they were entered using the amounts that went through the bank, not the actual invoices or receipts. A lot of it's debit card transactions. I did as much as I could on that. And then as he said, it became, is it really worth me continuing spending my time trying to find these invoices or these receipts? So I'd say I got probably half of them coded to where I think they should go. For example, there were charges to the post office, it's postage. So I coded it to postage. There were some transactions that were purchases made for public works. So I spoke with Roger, what was this? And he said, oh, well, that was a pump. So I put that to the water expenses. But there is still a number of transactions out there. So the point of all that is I have washed my hands of that and turned it over to the accountants now for them to get that ready for the auditor, however we want to proceed with it. And I had training yesterday for cybersecurity at Delaware Rural Water, and training today for leveraging your analytical data, which is using water information from your meters, because the meters can tell us a lot to try and determine your rates and things like that. So.
Anybody have any questions?
No, but I would like to thank Rhiannon, and let the people here and the people that are watching us at home know that you ladies do go to a lot of places and a lot of training and a lot of classes. We get lots of calls from people that watch, who's here and who's not. I just want them to know that these ladies just don't go out and do joyriding. A lot of times they are out actually working, or not showing here, but they're working for our town. Just to mention that, because we have a few people in town who seem to think that you ladies don't do much of anything. And that is totally not true.
I would invite them to come and sit.
Yes, I would too. So thank you. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yep.
All right.
And that answers what George said. I mean, they're not in the office, so there's work that doesn't get done. So then when they get done, they gotta come back and try to get all that work caught up. So I appreciate them as well. Okay, old business. Discuss and possible action on updating, revising the town employee handbook with town employment attorney. That would be you, that's what it's called. So if you,
Good evening. Yeah, so I prepared a memo.
let me get the clock here.
Yeah, I prepared a memo, and there are exactly a dozen substantive changes that I'm recommending. And I have a draft that demonstrates basically an underline where those changes are. I circulated that to Rhiannon, to the town manager, a little bit earlier today. Because of the fact that we're not talking about like, oh, here's a line here for good housekeeping and we're gonna change a hanging participle there. That's not the nature of the recommendations. I actually think that it would be appropriate for you to schedule a workshop on the subject matter of the handbook. As we've seen from just the normal business that you have on your agenda today, you have a lot of things going on just in the regular course of the affairs of the town. The handbook's not been updated since 2022. There are significant additional laws, changes, developments that have happened that need to go in the handbook, and you deserve an opportunity to ask me questions about it and to have answers and to have a real explanation of why these recommendations are being made. Some of them range from relatively bleeding edge issues like medical marijuana and making sure that your policies are consistent there, all the way to more nuanced things like, how your grievance policy should look, whether you want a grievance policy, and the way that it really like overlays language that affects employment matters in your charter and in other areas of the code, depending upon the, employee and the circumstances there. There's also an important subject which relates to the fact that you've got two universes. You've got a code of conduct that exists for your police department, and then you've got general matters of applicability to general HR issues for the employment manual. So the chief was kind enough to get me the documentation for his code of conduct and for all of those things, and I've also begun to parse through those to find, areas where we can either say, this applies, but if you're police personnel and there's something that conflicts, then this controls. There's a right way to do that and to explain how those two work in tandem. And I think it just needs time for me to present it to you in an efficient manner. I mean, with the dozen changes that are roughly there, that are outlined in the memo, and taking, 10 minutes to discuss each one, which, just with any questions that would arise, I would imagine we'd probably run over for each topic. We would be here for quite some time. And then we have other matters to address later on in the agenda with respect to other issues. So, it's your pleasure. I can do the presentation now, or you can schedule a workshop and we can have a discussion about these issues and all that sort of thing.
Is anybody opposed to scheduling the workshop? And then if they aren't, would they be willing to do it on a Friday when I am actually off that evening and I'd be able to attend the full workshop and not have to cut out from my job?
I can accommodate whatever the town schedule, whatever the council members want.
I'm open to a workshop. I think that would be wise.
Randy,
I'm open to it too.
Mike? Do you have a motion to that?
With July 31st, gives you 2 weeks, make any arrangements. That's Friday night, I'm off, I don't have to be anywhere, I don't have to do anything.
Mike?
Just double check before somebody makes the,
I cannot be here July 31st, just
What
if it's
about,
relevant.
what about the 24th, which would be next Friday? Okay. Maybe we could do it another night, I gotta cut out, it is what it is. But I would definitely be, let's do a workshop, because it gives him plenty of time to be able to go over everything thoroughly.
we're talking about probably half a dozen laws, which could generate questions depending upon,
Right.
oh, why are we phrasing our anti-discrimination policy this way? Or, how do you report this concern? Or what about this, payroll law? Or, does this really apply? So there's just a lot of things that I could see any one of you asking me.
29th. It's a Wednesday, it's just another Wednesday. 29th, Mike, is that good for you?
29.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I'm just checking my, as soon as my laptop decides to wake back up, I'll check my other calendar and confirm that.
It gives us plenty of time to post, if anybody wants to attend.
So when is that? July?
July 29th, the 2 Wednesdays from now.
All right, I am about to tell you folks that hopefully I'll be able to confirm that that works.
Chief, you be all right for that?
The 29th works. Yes.
You guys are always my priority, right? I'll make it work.
Carolyn, are you available for that? Brianna, are you?
Just right, yes.
Okay, so I will make a motion that we have a workshop to address all of Mr. Del Colo's presentation on July 29th involving the employee handbook and any issues that may arise or questions that may arise.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any questions on the motion? Being none. Mr. Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Massey?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay.
The workshop would be
And then 6:30
6:30.
also?
That's what I was saying.
Standard meeting time, 6:30, sound good for everybody?
The work for you, Mike.
Yeah. And then there's another issue that needs to be brought up.
We could do that then
It might
too.
make sense.
Yeah, so there's another issue that relates to an old personnel policy matter that deals with the application of the current bad weather, hazardous weather policy. So why don't we notice that workshop for that issue as well?
I would suggest you do it as a special meeting of council that has that item on it. And of course, you would normally have your public comment period or do it for any public meeting. Address that, you could go into the workshop portion of the evening for the part about the employee.
Let's get it all done at once, all the
And-
personnel stuff.
The one thing I
Just have you-
would say though is if you treat it as a workshop,
Oh, sorry, don't worry. All right.
that would not be anticipated. Council would be making recommendations. They're not making a vote. They could-
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think, what I envision is explaining it to them and allowing them to deliberate. And it's possible they could want to vote that day, but we're talking about a wholesale move, right?
If it's
That might
on the
want to
agenda of the
consider.
workshop,
Yeah,
there's not gonna be voting on it.
yeah, I mean, I am comfortable with them.
Do you want a
Hearing my-
special meeting particular to that item and then workshop after that?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean,
I think that would make.
I'm comfortable with them hearing my presentation and then considering it, and then coming back and voting on approving or disapproving the changes during a regular
Yeah,
meeting.
based on what I've seen from the memo, there is a lot to unpack there. I think you probably would want time to digest it even after you.
Go ahead and workshop and then set it up on the August agenda, whether to approve or
Yes.
not to approve. All right,
But there is another item that has to be addressed that night. so
correct.
It would just make sense since he's here.
Knock it out.
So how we're gonna do this? We're talking about a workshop and then we're talking about a special meeting. Do we need another motion for a special meeting prior?
No, because that could just be scheduled.
You can schedule, you have the discretion to schedule a special meeting as the mayor or any two members of council. So
Okay.
you have that autonomy without a motion.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, since Mr. Del Paulo was here, that we could address that item too.
Absolutely.
It was one of those things that we forgot to get on this agenda. Since he'll be at that meeting, it would make sense to address it then.
Okay. Gentlemen, you understand what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do, yeah.
All right, moving along, I'm sorry, you done?
That's all
Okay.
for that.
Moving along to new business, discussion and possible introduction of ordinance A26 regarding the height of private garages in the R1 and R2 zoning district.
Yeah, you may recall, we voted, council voted to approve some amendments regarding accessory buildings. And we had, at the commission level, we discovered there was one item that had not been captured as part of some of the recommendations. They made some recommendations, but, in doing so, there was another section of code that had not been written into the amendment. So in order to actually amend that, we have to do a new amendment. It deals with the height of private garages in the R1 district. In your packet was a draft of that ordinance. Council had instructed me as part of the motion to approve, to go ahead and prepare that. What we would need is for a motion to introduce this ordinance, so then we would have a public hearing before the commission and another public hearing for you all. I'm not sure if that would be able to be accomplished before August meeting, but I'll leave it to Ms. Slater to see what the timeline looks like. But that's what this is, it's ordinance, proposed ordinance 826, for introduction to address that one kind of hanging chat from our prior zoning discussions.
Do we have a motion?
So I will make a motion to allow Mr. Sharp to move forward with that,
Or to introduce that.
to introduce that, correct, in front of the commission.
Is there a second?
Hold on, I have a question for Jamie. Jamie, can we discuss this at all, or is this just the motion to do it?
Just a motion.
Well, this is just, I mean, you can have a discussion about it, but there's gonna be a public hearing if it's introduced.
Okay.
Mr. Short, if I may, what is the height that they're trying to go with?
25 feet.
25 feet, it would be a maximum of 25 feet.
20 now, they'd have to 5 feet.
Which is consistent with what we had elsewhere.
I told him I thought we were going from 25 to 30, but we actually went from 20 to 20. I couldn't
That's
remember
right,
what it was.
20 to 25.
25.
Right.
Does that work? That works with the county, right?
Well, the county's max at 35 feet.
35 foot.
Well, I mean,
But
that's for houses, but this is for like garages and whatnot.
Buildings and
So your
storage.
garage won't be 30 foot, you can't go 35 feet with your garage,
I don't
so,
know what that big anyway.
I mean, that's what it is, Mark.
Yeah, what had happened with Mr.
See,
Moran was,
25 foot.
we had introduced a slew of ordinances based on a workshop that we had in February. There's and address all the zoning districts. When we were reviewing it through the planning commission, there was a couple recommendations that were then taken to council, and we updated the ordinance to address those amendments. One of which was to have the private garages to have them 25 feet rather than 20 feet. And the reason for that was there was concern that if you were parking a boat or a large vehicle, 20 feet may be the pitch, but it's lower as you get further, that may create some height issues. So it had been recommended that we set the 25-foot height limit in the other districts. That was fine with the other ones because in the ordinance itself, we had addressed those sections of code regarding height for other zoning districts. The section regarding R1 had not been addressed. It was void of any discussion. So in order to make that change for R1, we had to come back for another ordinance. So that's why that.
What had happened I remember actually when we set it at 20, like it was after the discussion, and my concern is that was done or approved back then because of basically aesthetics. And I do now have a concern with the older parts of town. Most of the houses are not 25 feet tall, they're not even 20 feet tall. And my concern is this, what I saw happen when I lived in a little town underneath Annapolis. It was a working class community, it's called Churchton Deal, they're two little places on the water. There was no height requirement, and people with economic means moved into the neighborhood, would tear the house down, and they were putting McMansions in. The aesthetics of the town, it didn't look right, there's no other way to put it. And what that ultimately did was cause a lot of friction with neighbors. A lot of good people across the street built a McMansion, nice people, they weren't very well liked. And it didn't look, I'll say it doesn't look right. If you go to Old Town Alexandria, one of those, row houses burns down, they don't let you do, a 10-story one. So it's something that we should consider that was put there. I get it might not match others, but, sometimes as much as I'm open to doing what you want on your property, when you do live in town, there's rules there that help be a good neighbor, whether you're trying to or not. So it's something to consider. I'd like the council to consider that.
Okay, Mr. Massey, you have a motion to proceed with A26 to planning and zoning,
Yes.
and you continue that.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Moran. And your opposition or what have you is noted. Okay,
To take a vote on, have that motion go to introduce and then have it go to the committee.
right.
You want to vote on that? I know Mr. Nelson said, he made comments, but I don't know, there's nothing to prohibit this being discussed and amended after it's introduced. It's just, you're gonna have an opportunity for public hearing and comment those things. So I don't know if we should have a vote on introducing this, moving it to commission.
We got that.
I think we had Mr. Massey.
He made the motion and Mr. Moran seconded.
Okay.
All right, so now we'll vote.
So you're not going to do a roll,
Yeah.
roll,
But
a roll call.
I was getting ready to do that when my solicitor,
He was just soliciting a comment.
yeah. Mr. Massey, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson,
No,
Mr. Willie,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
and I vote yes. We can change later, so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving right along. Discuss possible action of RFP for ERP software. Well, that's a mouthful.
So at your direction, I put out an RFP, which is a request for proposal for ERP software, which is enterprise resource planning, and that takes everything and puts it into one place. Your utility billing, your property tax billing, everything's all in one place. I did specifically reach out to 3 vendors directly. 2 of them never responded, and I did post the RFP. We got 1 quote or 1 proposal, and that was from Edmunds. I can tell you there are at least 10 municipalities in the state of Delaware that use Edmunds. As Mr. Luff said, it's a very good, solid product. Now, this does include the finance module. If you guys want to, I don't know, do another workshop or get a copy of this and contact other municipalities and get their feeling on using everything in one place. If we use the finance module, that would stop the double entry of having to take information from Edmunds and then enter it into QuickBooks. It would all just be in one place, which makes reporting a lot easier and transparency better, in my opinion. I understand what he's saying. So however you want to do this, but the implementation cost, so your first year cost would be $48,360 or $350, I'm sorry. Now, there are a few modules on here that I don't necessarily think we need. And again, we can discuss this now or in a workshop, or if you guys want to take it and look it over. I apologize for not making you copies. And then the annual cost, once that's done, is, I believe, $22,000. Yes, $22,650.
A year.
Yes.
Now, can't we use part of,
So we can use realty transfer tax for the initial installation and implementation. We cannot use transfer tax technically for the annual cost.
okay.
Now, the initial cost, if you said there's some stuff in there you didn't think you necessarily needed.
Yes.
If you streamline that, will that lower the cost of the monthly?
Yes, it would drop the monthly by, I think, about $2,000. And the initial implementation, it would only drop it by about $4,600. So not a huge amount, but there's no point in paying for stuff we don't need.
No, dimes and nickels are dimes and nickels.
Yeah.
How you cut it. So you said it's about $2,000 a year we would drop if you can slim it down a little bit.
Yes,
And then the initial cost is $4,600. Could you email that to me?
yes, I do have a digital copy of it. Now it will be this whole, it'll be the whole proposal.
No, I appreciate it.
Unless you want me to just send you this page.
Oh, you can send the whole thing.
Okay.
What was the initial cost again, originally?
$48,350.
Okay, I heard 4,600 from,
Oh, no, I can reduce it by about 4,600.
okay, I just want to make sure I was correct in what we're,
That
yeah.
doesn't include, if you were to remove the finance module, that takes out another $3,500 from your implementation costs. I'm sorry, it takes out another $6,000 in the implementation.
Is the finance model something you feel we need?
I think so, yes. Because, again, it keeps everything streamlined. We receive a payment and it's automatically placed to the correct GL account. We receive
So.
grant money, it goes right to where it's
So it's
supposed
just
to go.
boom, boom, it's
Yeah,
done.
it's done, yeah.
This is the Edmunds system for
Yes.
clarification.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, I can give you a list of other municipalities in the state that use this, and it ranges from, small towns, Camden, Wyoming, both of them use it, to Middletown
Okay.
uses it. So, I mean, there's a whole range of municipalities that use it.
Did Norfolk go on to it?
No,
Okay, that's what they decided not to. Okay. Are we on a timeline with,
the proposal's good for 90 days. We received it on June 9th, so,
So we have a little bit of time to discuss.
yes.
Okay. Gentlemen, I have to go to work, I'm sorry. I trust you to make good judgments. Have a good evening.
Leanna, if we make this decision, can we make this decision in August? Do we have the time frame to make it in August? Okay.
The 22,000 this month, where would that money be coming from to pay that?
We would have to find that in the operating budget.
See, man.
All right, see y'all later.
So you're saying the 48, the initial cost to start up, 48 will come out of real estate, and the other one, we would have to figure out where we're gonna pull that money from.
Yes,
And all this together, the way he was saying, the way I understood it, would help streamline
Oh,
the
absolutely.
audit and reconciling everything, so we know where the money is.
yes.
So if the public came in here and asked us, where, what we spent $50,000 on, then we would be able to just hit a button and say,
Yes.
we spent $50,000 on replacing the street.
And I mean, realistically, we should be able to do that with QuickBooks as well. As he said, garbage in, garbage out, as long as you put the information in. But this just streamlines everything for, taxes and utilities and everything right in one place as well.
And the layman term says it actually takes about 10 bricks off of you guys.
Absolutely.
And it helps to take care of the public faster because you're not spending so much time trying to locate something.
Mhm.
Okay, is there a motion to table this to August meeting?
Motion made.
I have a motion to table till August meeting. Do I have a second?
Second. Mike seconded.
Mike seconded.
Yes.
Brian, and is this easy to send to all of us in an email?
Yeah, I believe they sent me a thumb drive with this, so I mean, it may be too large to email, but I can try.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. So we will table this to the August meeting. Okay, council members' comments. Michael, do you have anything, being the junior councilman?
Well, I have one thing that just popped in my brain, and it was for the chief, it just did come up. I see Lieutenant Thomas is going strong with this electric truck, which I think is great. What has been the cost as far as with his Durango not being on the road? Have we saved money as far as maintenance with just having your vehicle patrolling and Brooks' vehicle patrolling and is just sitting here while we're using the truck?
I would have to review our maintenance budget and where we're at, for this year, as well as our fuel budget. And see what the difference offset has been. Obviously, the electric vehicle is saving us money while he's patrolling. I don't know how much our electric bill has went up from charging it. I wouldn't even be able to see that. I think the town manager would have to see it, to see how many kilowatts more we're using per month to charge the vehicle. I can try to pull our fuel since the deployment of that and see, since the electric vehicle's been deployed, if there's any recognizable differences in how much fuel we're using. Obviously, it's a lot less on the service side because the vehicle's not getting serviced, once every month or two now because of the amount of miles being put on it, so.
Would you like to see that, Mr. Moran? If
Not
so-
right now, I mean,
Okay,
that's just something I just was on seeing if he would be able to, if he had that number at the top of his head.
No, not right off the top of my head. I would have to do some analytics on that.
Randy?
How about for, the chief again, how about with, Mr. Thomas? What, I did speak to him one day and he said he likes the truck. He thinks it's, have you heard anything good, bad? I mean, he did say he liked it. He was doing well with it.
I mean, that's, again, as a chief, I try to find little ways to keep my employees happy. He was very, he really leaned, he wanted a pickup truck. So we found a way to get him a truck.
Get him a truck.
Luckily, it was free. So the fact that it was just free makes me happy. So, but he seems to enjoy it. He's went out and utilized it to catch people off guard because they haven't recognized it as a
Yes.
typical cop car at this point. We're starting to catch on now, but we were able to use that as kind of a surprise attack for a while, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there now.
It
different
seems to be
now.
going
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
We do have the second, electric vehicle. This topic was discussed last year about this time in reference to how we're going to utilize that vehicle. I really haven't gotten any further. The application's closed. Basically, that is the stipulations that was put into it. Council really hasn't given me any direction on what we want to do with that vehicle. I know the previous town manager was making suggestions that it be used as a vehicle for the civilian side. I'm kind of at your guys' mercy. The application was printed as it was. There's no amendments to make on it because that application is closed. The original application stated that it was to be used for the police department. So whatever you guys want done with that second vehicle, you just need to let me know. I can either have it fully outfitted, just like we did with the lieutenant, we can leave it unoutfitted. Kind of, it's your vehicle, you tell me what you want to do with it.
Can it be used for administrative?
So that's where we kind of ran into the run. The previous town manager said that the original application was, hey, yup, if the town manager could use it. But there was a caveat put in that specific application later on that said, no, this vehicle can't be used by the town, specifically the town manager, and it can only be used by the police department.
Because I know other municipalities, their admin uses it.
Yes, yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. The application is the actual grant stipulations. That was provided to you guys, I believe, like last July or August, sometime around then, with that information on it. So ultimately, it comes down to you guys. If you are okay with them using it, I will make it very accessible with them.
Marina, can we put this on as an agenda item, possible discussion and action on police electric vehicle and other vehicle, the whole fleet? Because that could go any which way. Because you would essentially have some vehicles and let's just say you outfitted it, this is just theoretical. Now you're gonna have a gas vehicle just sitting there. That
We've got, yeah, so I have more cars than I got cops.
yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But
And
maybe
each car
the
is on a
herd
fleet.
could be thinned.
Yep.
You know?
Each vehicle is on our fleet insurance, which obviously I don't know if we get a cut rate or if we pay per vehicle. That's costing us money. We have, what initially was one spare Durango, now I have technically two spare Durangos because the lieutenant's utilizing the electric vehicle while he's on patrol and then utilizing one as a one of the Durangos as a take-home vehicle while that electric vehicle charges.
Yeah, let's discuss this next
Yeah,
month.
we
You're
can-
open to that, chief?
Yeah, absolutely. We can have it added to the agenda. I can get some more statistics for you guys in reference to the usage. I can bring that application for the Energize Delaware back to you guys so you can review it again and you can make your decision on what we want to do with that second electric vehicle.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Nelson, you have the floor.
All right, well, council, mayor, distinguished guests. What I have in front of you, I had some questions that came up. The first thing you have that you see is, and I'm entering this into public record. So this is Ryan, and afterwards I'm gonna give this, so this is open. This won't have to be FOIA'd by anybody. This is the first thing that says the 40,059.15. This is the surprise bill we got from the IRS. You may not have been aware of it, Mike, so you got a copy in front of you. When you go to page 2 of 3, you'll see tax period ending, and there's 4 of them that we did not pay in our payroll taxes. Now, one's all the way back in 2020. One thing it's first quarter. The IRS wouldn't have just sent one notice. I had a friend who, he wouldn't mind, he had a little brush against them. They let you know more than once they're not happy. So most likely, other notices were coming in that we never knew about. Then the other quarters were in 2 and 23, and then 1 in 2024. But the thing that I'm adding to it is this is one of the bills. It's actually the one for, let me make sure I have my date right. Fourth quarter 2023. So 12/31/2023. You see it says $4,691.81. The interest that it does failure to pay penalty and the total. This actually gets broken down. This, when I enter it, Rhiannon, I do have to redact our PIN numbers on it, and I didn't realize that. So if somebody asks for, why is that your employee IEP number out? Because that's actually private. But page 3 of 5 is what I want to bring everybody's attention to. You'll see there was a due date, the payment date, it should be in green for it or highlighted. How many days late it was. The rate we got hit 10%, and it just goes on and on and on. So this had happened multiple times. This is just one bill. It wasn't like, oop, there was a slip up or something. These is multiple times this happened within that quarter, ultimately accruing the town $1,849.62 in penalties and fees that we should not have paid. Or because if we paid it, we wouldn't have that problem. So I thought, all right, let me see if there was just something that I missed. I went back through all the minutes, which is always real fun, from 2020 to basically August of 2025 last year. There's no mention of this by any council member, previous town managers, the last two. And the other thing, I looked at the town budgets, and the off chance that maybe it somehow got brought up as a budget item, because it would be a budget item, because it's money big, nothing. There's no mention of this anywhere. So people might think, well, why are you bringing this up? You know, it's not to disparage anybody, it's to educate. This is what we're dealing with when we have to make financial decisions. That these past failures affect today and how we have to drive the town forward, which is not easy to do. We're talking about, the possibility of bringing on a system. I actually know about Edmonds. I rang Donnie years ago about it. I don't know if he remembers. Yes, he remembers. And it's a great system for a town. But things like this will affect that decision. But for this council person, I'll just say that right now, there's more. Mr. Love, he said something that is actually the kind of thing that keeps me up at night. There may be more. We don't know. There was something else with it, that we thought all our loans, Mr. Murray, instance, 25, all loans paid. No, they weren't on a bill. Like this stuff matters. Those failings matter, and they make our decisions very hard. And what I would rather do is have discussions on the best way forward, especially with people who may not agree with how the town's going, than at a constant back and forth. This isn't a conspiracy, as much as somebody may want to try and do that, it's not a conspiracy. I promise I have no pull at the IRS. 2 IRS agents, I got to take that back, as I worked on a case. But that's why I'm bringing this forward, and I want the public to know is, hey, this is out there now. So I didn't know if anybody had any questions or anything.
They know it's out there because we have certain members from the town that have put it out there, and
Okay, well, I thought that they should have the complete.
it was stapled right to one of their meetings they held the other week,
Okay. Well,
And
here's a
they made it
complete
sound like we just wouldn't pay the money, or we're broke, we couldn't pay the money. Well, this was sat in these files for all these years that nobody even found, saw, or knew. And no account to any of you guys or whoever.
Well, the $40,000 bill showed up recently.
It was actually
Correct.
24,000 that we had to pay, and we just got the second one for this year, so it's a total of 48,000.
48,000
That was for the loans.
That was for the SRF, yeah.
Now, as far as you were talking about the IRS.
IRS bill, yeah, that also sat in the files and was not paid, and
So
they did have notice of it. I mean, it was in the files, but they were filed away by the previous town manager.
And I was not
And
on
the
council in
people-
2023.
And the people that
24.
are saying now that why is this there? Why didn't they pay it? And they're trying to say, well, the town's broke, the town has no money, blah, blah, blah.
We have money, but this affects the
But
decision.
this comes from way back. This wasn't like we got it 5 years ago and now we're looking to do this. It just came to our attention.
Yes.
It's been sitting in a file put away by someone else that used to work here. But they're trying to make it look like our town is just trying to, however you want to say it, which is just not true.
Well, there's additional information now.
Yes.
And it really affects your budget. We had a budget, we did our
Correct.
budget for 2026, unbeknownst to us, now all of a sudden we got $80-some thousand worth of bills that we had no idea we even had.
Correct.
48 plus this 40, that's $84,000 we had no idea that we had.
And again, never in the meeting minutes, the IRS billing. never in
Okay,
the Budget.
anything else? If not, we have something for executive. I would suggest, if we take a 5-minute break, please, because I have to go to the restroom.
Do
And,
you wanna make a motion to go into executive session?
oh, yeah, we
Or
can
do you
do
wanna
that.
take
Did
a
I go
motion
run
to
in here?
recess and then
No,
come
let's-
back and go?
Let's go into, entertain a motion to go in executive session for strategy sessions and advice or opinions from attorney at law regarding pending or potential litigations, and to discuss personnel matters in which the names, competency, and abilities of individual employees will be discussed strategy sessions and advice or opinion from an attorney at law regarding pending and potential litigations, which is Delaware 29-C 100004 D4. I entertain a motion to go in exec.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Moran. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Willie. Mr. Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. It is now 8:05 and we are in executive
Now,
session.
how the hell did you get